If you've tried private hitting lessons, taking hours and hours of reps in the cage, buying baseball products, paying for a strength trainer, and watching tons and tons of YouTube videos that's telling you what you should do to hit for power, but you're still not able to hit for power, today what I'm going to share with you might be why. You see, 99% of players train exactly like this, and it's actually killing their power. But once you make the switch to what I'm going to share with you today, you're going to start driving the baseball more consistently. You might even be able to hit your first or next home run, just like Luke. You see, Luke was doing the exact same thing until we changed one part in how he trained. Just recently, he just hit his first home run ever. But he's not the only one. What about Dodge? Dodge had 0 doubles last year, and he already has 4 this year in 1 month. And today, I'm going to show you exactly what I told them so that you can start implementing it into your game so that you can take your game to that next level. Now, if you don't know what I'm talking about, I'm going to tell you right now. It's basically hitting in a cage. Now, I'm not against it. You know, I get it. I hit into a cage for years upon years. But once I started going outside, that's when I really started to unlock power. And I'll talk more about that later. But when you're hitting in a cage, it hinders you from actually knowing what you're doing correctly. Now, I get it. Cage work is about the process, the reps, the rhythm, the mechanics. I'm not against any of that. But if you can't see what the ball is doing, how do you know it's actually working? But Jermaine, cage reps equals quality reps. My opinion is that 100 swings without feedback is just noise. You're moving and you're taking repetitions, but you're not actually progressing and getting the feedback you need to take your game to that next level. And this could be the reason why a lot of you are very good hitters in the cage, but can't do it on the field. You can't drive the baseball on the fields because you've been practicing in the cage and you got used to that environment. And then when you get out to the field, you started to panic. The field opens up. It looks too large for you. It looks big. You see the fans in the stands, and now you're like, oh, I need to change to become this type of person. But if you were just hitting on the field more consistently and you started to do that and you got used to it, that hard work of practice, those extra reps, but instead of being in the cage are now on the field, will start translating in game. But Jermaine, hard contact equals power. If you're taking hard contact in the cage, that equals power. And my opinion is that sometimes it sounds good in cage, but it doesn't translate in game. For example, you hit a baseball and everyone says that's a cage bomb, but that could be a fly out to center, fly out to left, or a pop up. But we're imagining what it possibly could be instead of actually being able to see it on the field and seeing how the ball carries. But Jermaine, more reps you take in the cage equals more progress. And I do kind of believe that. But if your goal is to hit doubles and extra base hits, and I assume that's what you want since you're watching my videos, then you might want to be outside on the field so you can see that ball carry and you can hit those balls in the gaps. But Jermaine, pros do it. You used to do it. It must work, right? It does work. I'm not saying that hitting in the cage doesn't work, but I will say this. As a pro baseball player, we would go into the cage and you would just get your feels, right? Feels for the day. But we also hit on the field for batting practice, and we were able to see how our ball was doing, because sometimes in the cage you hit it and it looks and feels good, and then you go to the field and you see your ball's top spinning, right? It's not carrying, and then you're able to make the adjustment right there on the field to get yourself game ready. Not to mention, when I played with the Minnesota Twins, they put me into their power program, and we didn't go into a cage once. All spring training, all we did was hit out on the field. And we were working on getting ourselves to drive the baseball for extra base hits. So here's my thing. You can't improve what you can't see. In the cage, you can't see the truth on whether or not you're driving the baseball for extra base hits. Now, it's good for a coach because we are helping you do the right mechanics. But if you're trying to further your power, I would highly advise you to go out to the field to see what your ball is doing, which is what we're going to talk about next. You see, power isn't just a feeling, it's a result. And if you never see what the ball is doing, you're just guessing. This is why I advise you to go out to a field, because there's 4 things that you get to see on the field. One, the carry. Is it top spinning? Is it back spinning? Is it slicing? You start to see what's happening with your ball in flight. And for you trying to drive the baseball for doubles or home runs, we really want to see that ball backspin and carry. And if it's not carrying, then we can change a little movement in our swing to start to work on that. We also want to see the direction. Where are we hitting most of our balls? Are we driving it to pull side? Are we hitting it to center? Are we hitting it to right center? And then when we hit it to those places, again, how does the ball carry? Is it backspinning? I remember hitting with Joey Votto, and each swing, Joey Votto looked to see what his ball was doing. If he seen it was carrying, then he knew that he had the right swing path to drive the baseball. If it was top spinning, he started to make adjustments to see if he was able to correct that so he can get the ball flight where he wanted to, which was back spinning and hitting those gappers. Now, my favorite part of hitting on the field is focusing on distance, being able to drive the baseball for doubles and then seeing it hit the alleys and visualizing, okay, yeah, I got that. That one right there, that one's going to be a double in game. And now you are focusing on that and you're seeing yourself hit the baseball in the gap and you're seeing it carry. And that does so much for you, which I'm going to talk about that in a second, but it just does so much for your confidence, right? You're seeing yourself elevate balls and it takes off. You're seeing yourself drive the baseball with power. You're seeing the result. You're not guessing. Now, the last reason I like to hit on the field is because it helps you with your launch angle. Inside the cage, you hit a low liner and you feel good about that, right? And then you go onto the field and you take that same swing and you hit that low liner and it's a barely getting out of the infield, or it's a ground ball. And a lot of people come to me and they say, oh, I'm hitting a lot of ground balls. And I say, okay, where are you focusing when you're hitting in the cage? Where are you focusing on the tee when you're hitting into a net? And they're hitting it super low, right? And I'm saying, well, you are basically creating the swing path to get ground balls. But when we hit on the field, we can actually see the ball that we want, the one that's going to carry for that extra base hit, the launch angle that's going to allow you to get the ball to the outfield, that launch angle that's going to allow you to hit a home run. We can see it with our very own eyes, no guessing. Now, the major reason why I like to hit on the field, especially with players that normally struggle to hit for power, I want them to see their ball flight and then they start to become confident. When they see those balls fly and they carry, they start to become confident in themselves. Their confidence grows when the ball flies. And that's something that you don't get when you're hitting in the cage. The other reason is purpose shows up in the swing, right? If we're training to hit for doubles and you throw the ball in BP on the field and he hits a double, he's going to want to hit a double again, right? So he's going to look for that pitch. And once he gets it, he's going to swing with intent. And that right there is going to translate in game. And lastly, one of the major reasons is that your body makes better adjustments with feedback. So once you see the result, your body and your mind changes a bit. Like, okay, how can I do that again? Or that didn't feel right. I need to make a change. And then you start to slowly progress and get better. You improve over time by seeing the feedback right in front of your eyes. You see, this is what ball flight gives you and why cage only training gets players stuck. So here's my advice for you. What I would like you to do is get out to the field 1 to 2x per week. And each swing, I want you to track the ball flight. When you're hitting off a tee, when you're doing front toss, when you're hitting BP, I want you to look at the ball flight. So take a few seconds, visualize your success when you're hitting that baseball. Imagine it to be game-like, right? With the crowd around. And when you hit it, you feel like it's actually in game. I want you to put down cones. I want you to use trees as markers. You can even use the fence line as a target, but get outside and hit on a field. You see, real improvement comes from seeing what's real. That's the shift. So when you're out there, I want to give you a few things to think about, some mental cues. Every swing should tell you something. If it doesn't, you're just swinging in the dark. And just to bring this full circle, back to Luke. As you already may know, he just hit his first home run ever, but he was told to see the ball deep and take his singles to the opposite field. But we changed that by giving him a different way to train. He's hitting out in the field. He's seeing himself drive the baseball. He's building himself up. And that allowed him to hit his first home run ever just recently. And this also happened to Dodge. Last season, he had 0 doubles, and this season, he has 4 doubles in 4 weekends. And as you can see, he's hitting outside on the field, watching his ball flight. He's making adjustments in real time to improve himself, and this added distance to his hits, and it added distance to Luke's hits. So if you want to add real distance to your hits, not just feel good in the cage, but actually drive the baseball in game, then I want to help. I'm offering a free swing breakdown where I'll personally look at your swing and show you exactly what's holding your power back and how to fix it. Click the link below, upload your swing, and let's stop guessing and start building real power. Thank you guys.